Okay, so today we're going to learn how to use the mapping feature in the MLS. So as you can see, I'm already logged into the MLS. The mapping feature does some great things for you. You can look up property profiles. You can search for properties in default. You can route coordinates to properties and things like that. There's an endless number of things you can use the map explorer to do, or the map program. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to click on Maps, and I'm going to do Map Explorer. This is the same as if you do, it's similar to if you map a specific property, but I'm going to start with the intention in mind that I don't have necessarily a specific property. And I'm going to show you how you can pull up a general area, maybe for prospecting purposes. So wait for this to load. Okay, so as you can see, it brings up a map of the area. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge it by clicking that button, the box button up there, to make it full screen. Okay, so let's just say I want some information on a specific area. Maybe I want to farm for short sales in a specific area. And I want to go around the intersection of Acres and Caldwell. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the right, and you'll see that there's various tabs here: measurement, markers, selected parcels, directions and routing, map layers. I'm going to click on directions and routing. And you'll see there's a box down here that says enter an address or a place. I'm going to enter in Acres, whoops, got to spell it right, and did I do that right? No. Typical agent. I don't know how to spell the street name. Okay, Acres in Caldwell, Visalia, California. Enter. So I hit the enter key, and we're going to hope that it actually finds it. Okay, so you'll see over here it put a little A on the map, tiny little A, and up here it put it on your list. So watch what happens when I just double click on the address up here. Double click. It zooms all the way into that intersection. So now we've located the area, and with this map you can click, left click and hold to kind of drag it around. So I'm going to look at this neighborhood over here on the southeast corner of Acres and Caldwell, just south of there. Move it around a little bit more. Okay. So this can be used for a lot of different reasons. Let's say I want to find short sales, or I want to look at parcels. I'm going to go out on a listing appointment, and I want to get the parcel details or a property profile on the property. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go down here to Map Layers. I'm going to click on Map Layers on the bottom right. And you'll see that the first box up here is Parcels. If I click on it, you'll notice that the parcels come up. Now, one thing I want to point out is if you're too far out, I'm going to back up a little bit. If you're zoomed too far out on the map, you will not have that option available to you. So if you don't see where you can check parcels, then you need to zoom in a little bit closer on the map until that item is available to you. Okay? So let's just zoom in one more notch here. Let me show you what happens now as I move around the parcels. As you can see, I can see the owner's name and the address of each property. Let's say I want to find out what is going on with this property. I'm going to click on it one time, and you'll see I have tax information. I'm going to click on that, and you can see we'll get a property profile that will come up on the property. So here you have the mailing address and the site address. This is where the taxes go, so those are the same. You can see the zoning, square footage 2409, 2.5 baths, built in '07. So this is typically what you'd see from maybe a title company, so this is a good place to get it. You can also see in here foreclosure information. So I see a notice the default was done in May of 2011. You can also see mortgage history here as well. So this is a really great screen. You don't have to get those property profiles from the title company. You can get them right out of the MLS. I'm going to go back I'm going to click, let's see, how do I get back on this screen? Okay, I'm going to go back to the map. A couple other things you can do in the map layers. So I'm going to close that. You can get parcel sizes. Let's zoom in so you can read those a little bit better. There's your parcel sizes right there. If you want to see, uncheck that, and you want to see the address numbers, you can see the address numbers. If you need the dimensions of the lot because you're listing the house, you can click on dimensions, and you can see this one is 60 feet by 112 feet. All right, so let's say I'm looking for people that are in default because I want to prospect for short sale listings. Over here on the right, we can move this down a little bit, all the way down, and you'll notice there's a notice of default flag here. So we can click this and see if there's any in the last 30 days. And there's one. Last 31 to 60 days. Okay, 61 to 90 days. All right, so there haven't been that many in the last 90 days. We're going to go over here to this flag in blue, and when I move my cursor over it, you'll notice it says notice of default. Delinquent amount, $31,000. They're behind $31,000 on their payments. This was recorded on June 27th, so pretty recently, of course. And there's the loan amount. If I want more information, I can click on it, and I can get this report. And it'll give you the information on the notice of default. So there you can see who the trustee is, etc., what the original loan amount is, how far past due they are, etc. So I now have a good prospect for a short sale. I'm going to close out these reports. Go back to my map. Must be on a different. Okay. So that's one way you can prospect notice of defaults. The other thing you can do in here, and I would recommend you go back even farther because foreclosures are taking a while. And you'll notice if we zoom out a little bit more, we'll probably see several more of those. Give it a minute to load. So there's quite a few notice of defaults in here that you can see. Okay, other things available to you in the mapping feature. You can see current listings right here. By clicking that, current listings, and all those yellow dots are current listings. If I want to get information on this one on Rialto, I just go to the yellow dot and click on it. It tells me this is listed by Natalie at Modern Broker. I can click on the listing, and it'll take me immediately to the listing detail. There it is. Let's say I'm trying to do a CMA. I want to see comps. Let's look for pending listings. Slightly different blue flag, you'll notice, from the default ones. Okay. We can see expireds in the last 30 days in case you're prospecting for expireds. Last 31 to 60 days, 31 to 90, and 3 to 12 months. And like I said, all these flags are clickable, so you can click on it, and you can see what the expired listing information is. Scroll down a little bit more. You can even see zoning. You can see flood maps, which is great for Visalia. If I click on that, you'll notice everything turned this color. And let's see if I can get it to come up. There you go. So this is a 2% flood zone, so no flood insurance required. If you actually zoom out on Visalia here, you'll see that there'll be different colors for the flood zones. This is good for when you're trying to determine if a property is in a flood zone. Zoom out. You can see the blue areas right there. I believe. No, maybe not. Anyway, you can drop and drag the map, and that'll tell you where your flood zones are. You've even got school districts in here. I'm going to clear some of this stuff out. If you want to just kind of uncheck these boxes, clean it up a little bit. You can even see elementary schools. Okay, so over here we have Liberty Elementary. Pretty interesting. Okay, so lots of information that you can get on the map layers. A couple other cool things. I'm going to clear some of this information out and check in the boxes. A couple other things that you can do in here, measurements. If you were trying to get the distance between two properties, this is common in BPOs, you can just click Start, and let's say you had the properties already on the screen because you went to the map via the listing screen. You can click and drag. Click one time, click again, and it tells you you're 0.7 miles. Excuse me. Okay, that's the measurement. Selected parcels. Okay, this is a good one. Did you know that you could print labels right out of the MLS? So going back to my neighborhood, let's say I want to farm this street. And I want to, I go to selected parcels, and I hit the control key, and I start clicking on boxes. And you'll notice they're turning blue. And on the right, you're getting a mailing address. So let's say I'm doing just listed or just sold around a specific property. Now once again, I'm holding the control key down and I'm clicking this button just one click at a time. Alright, I want to print labels. I just go to print labels and it will print on a standard Avery 5160 label. Should bring it up here in a second. Alright, hopefully that'll load. There it is. So there you go. Now you have labels. So you can actually use the MLS to create mailing labels if you want to farm an area. Okay, going back to my map. So there's lots of things you can do. All right. Hopefully that's a good overview of how you use the map screen, and hope you found it informational. And I guess that's what we're going to do for today. Any other questions? You can contact me in the Visalia office.